February 25th, 2026 episode of Dynamite opened up with a quick promo from the Babes of Wrath, and then it swapped immediately over to Megabad. Megabad had Lena Cross with them, and so she's officially here. We're going to see more of her. We got to see more of her later on in the night. But let's start with the fact that we just had another promo dump right after that, as soon as everybody in both Babes of Wrath and Megabad were done being like, no, we're going to win, no, we're going to win, no, we're going to win. Decent way to open up. Not mad at it. Seen worse. Seen better. Seen worse. The opening match, however, was my boy El Clone taking on Jon Moxley. And that was a hell of a match, and I really enjoyed it. And I took more notes on that match than I did any other match. Not because it was match of the night, although it is a very good contender. I think that it was very well done. Both guys, I mean, obviously it's Mox, so he looks super strong. But El Clone had a lot of really good stuff that he was doing. He tried to go for his kip kick again, and he messed up and almost got put in the bulldog choke. And then reversed it and got the kip kick off right after that. So there was that. There was a pre-match interview, like literally as Mox was coming down to the ring from Renee, his wife, with Marina Shafir. And Renee was like, hey, what's up with that slap that you hit him with before every match? And Marina rambled off some stuff and then was like, that slap holds no pain, only joy. And then she turned and went to ringside, and that was just how that happened, and that's what happened there. And then we moved on to the actual match itself, which again, honestly, for me, could be match of the night. It was very well done, very well choreographed. Both guys got their shit together. El Clone did a moonsault from in the ring to outside of the ring while Mox was on the floor by jumping from the canvas to the top rope in one fluid motion, and then flippy dude right over to the outside. So that was fascinating. Mox got El Clone with a couple of curb stomps. One of them failed because El Clone decided to do like a roll into a front flip, and that was a very interesting way to reverse that. I don't think I've ever seen somebody do that before. So, God, I love El Clone. That's all I have to say about that. We moved on to a recap of what happened last week between Swerve and Omega. And during the whole recap, Prince Nana came out through the Timekeepers area and got all up in the commentary area and got everybody to move and then introduced Swerve. And Swerve came out and Swerve did his Swerve thing, and he stood on top of the commentator's desk and he talked a little bit of trash and he stumbled a little bit, which was interesting because usually he's really good on the mic. Somebody in the crowd yelled something. I didn't catch it, but Swerve just turned and was just like, yo mama boy. And that was that. And then Swerve was like, hey, now that I got the win on Omega, I'm one step closer to a shot at the AEW Men's World Championship again. So we're just moving on with that storyline at this point, which is fine. Zero issue, except for the little stumble. Little stumble, but it's fine. He got his shit together. Swerve did have a little moment where he called out Brody King for being called the most dangerous man in the company. And so right after Swerve was done with his whole thing, we smashed straight to the back, and Brody was like, you don't think I'm the baddest man in the company, the most dangerous man in this company? I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. And oh boy, yeah, I mean, he's a big bad man. I would love to see Brody King versus Swerve just to see what can become of it, what can be done with it, what can be done about it, what it do. That would be a very fun match. So hopefully we get that at some point. I don't think that they've met one-on-one ever, maybe. It's been such a long time if they have that I've completely forgotten. It's just, my brain is smooth. So we moved on from Brody King's promo to Orange Cassidy taking on Gabe Kidd, and Kidd ended up with the win. it was basically exactly what you thought it would be. Kid came out swinging, just beating the tar out of Orange Cassidy. Cassidy got a few good licks in, and then they were like kind of exchanging chops, but Cassidy was doing his normal like thing. Like I said, at the end of the day, Gabe Kidd got the win. As soon as he got the win, he called Connors out. Connors came out. The two of them started to rough up Orange Cassidy. And then Darby Allin's music hit. Darby came out with a skateboard, started whooping ass back and forth. As soon as Darby took care of Connors, Gabe Kidd slid back in the ring and was charging at Darby when Orange Cassidy literally leapt up, and got Kidd with the orange punch. He went down. He rolled out of the ring. Kidd and Connors disappeared. Darby and Orange had a little moment. It was all good. I do want to point out that in Orange Cassidy's entrance, instead of just his name kind of like written in pencil or MS Paint with a mouse or whatever, it was a new MS Paint Lost sign for Roderick Strong, and it was very silly. I put it in the thumbnail. If you haven't seen it, go find it. Just it's all over Twitter right now. It's all over Instagram right now. Just go find it. It's very funny. If you find him, you get a $15 gift card, but it doesn't specify for where. It could be Raising Cane's. I don't know. We returned to the back after Orange Cassidy's match, and Thunder Rosa and Statlander were both there. Statlander is not cleared to wrestle until Saturday when her and Rosa are taking on the Sisters of Sin. Rosa was very much like, hey, next Wednesday, I've got a title shot against Tekla. I'm not scared of you, Tekla. I've been around the block, blah, 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 blah. So we'll see what becomes of that. Hopefully whatever little injury Stat had that clears up Saturday wasn't too bad. Like maybe she just stubbed her toe real bad or broke a toe. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. Somebody said it at some point, but they flew through it so fast and then immediately went to the backstage promo that I completely lost it. So that was a fun little moment there. Following that, we had our next match, which was Knight versus Mansoor. We haven't seen Mansoor in a few weeks. The whole group that he's in, we haven't seen any of them. So for him to just be suddenly in the ring and then Kevin Knight coming out and then having a match was fine. I wouldn't call it a squash match. Mansoor did get a couple good licks in. I think the match lasted 5 minutes overall. Knight did end up with the victory and then rolled into his own promo where he was like, hey, I'm stacking up wins every week. And after Revolution, when Hangman wins the title, like, I hope that I'm first in line to take a shot at it, at him for it, because we're partners. But like I said, I'm stacking up wins, and that was the whole thing there, which then immediately rolled into MJF and Adam Page standing in the ring to finally decide the stipulation for the match they're having at Revolution. Hangman wanted Texas Death. MJF came out and was like, well, there's all kinds of things that I think would da-da-da-da-da. And then he was like, one-way no DQ match, like for himself, obviously, so he can use weapons and Page can't. And he had a coin in his pocket, and he flipped that quarter, and it landed on heads, which meant MJF is getting his wish of having a one-way no disqualification match. And he celebrated for a second and then started to leave. And Adam Page was like, hold on, let me see that coin. Let me see that coin. And MJF was like, no, screw you. And he started going up the ramp. And that's when Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey came out of one side of the entry. And then so MJF tried to go the other way. And Brody King and Bandito came out that way. So it was 4 people standing at the top of the entrance ramp with MJF standing there just being like, and Adam Page just being like, no, like, really, let me see that coin. Give me that coin. Let me see it. And so they bum rushed him. They got the coin out of his pocket. They handed it to Paige. Paige rolled it over in his hand a couple of times. Tony Schiavone was like, oh, that's not right. I'm getting word that because this coin is rigged, it is going to be Texas Death, according to Coney Ton. According to Coney Ton. Tony Khan. So it will be a Texas Death match for the title at Revolution, which is going to be very interesting. We'll see what happens. MJF can't lose this title. He has to keep it this calendar year. Don't do it. I don't know how we're going to get around Adam Page not going up for the title as long as he ever lives, but we need MJF to keep the title. So leave it there. Call it a day. Don't ruin this. Then the next little section was a post-collision Brawling Birds promo, where they were just like, yeah, we're the Birds. We're here to brawl. We don't give a fuck. And then we don't give a flying fuck because they're birds. And then they fucked off to go have a pint. That was the whole thing. It lasted 45 seconds. We followed that up with a women's tag title match. So Babes of Wrath versus Megabad with Lena Cross in their corner. And it was actually pretty good. The Babes of Wrath and Megabad both have, big, strong member. And then they also have, smaller, faster member. So it was a good combination between the two teams. And it held my attention very well. I didn't have any real notes except for how it ended. The Babes of Wrath ended up winning via disqualification because Lena Cross grabbed one of the tag titles and smashed Willow in the face with it right in front of Aubrey, the referee. And that's a no-no. It's a no-no-no-no. It's a no-no-no. So that's what happened there. That's the only note I took, is that's how it ended, because it was good the entire way through, and then that happened, and so now who knows what's going to happen with Megabad, especially when it comes to going after the women's tag titles, especially now that they've got 3 members. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it and move forward from there. Then we got to the second to last match of the night, which was Brody King versus Mark Davis. And that is literally what it sounds like. It was 2 big, strong boys slapping man meat, round about 10 minutes. There was a commercial break, so I know it lasted about 10 minutes. And it was good. They really are doing a good job of making Mark Davis look like a beast, which, he is. He's a huge dude, and he's very strong. His knuckle seems to be totally fine. He had it all taped up again so that there wasn't any blood leaking everywhere. But him and Brody just went at it, and each of them did a tope at one point or another during the match, and it was fine. It was perfectly fine for what it was, with Brody getting the win. So congratulations to Brody, racking up one more win. We'll see if that gets him back into title contention anytime soon. Who knows? Like I said, him versus Swerve would be awesome, and I think it would be a very interesting match to watch. Then we came to the end of the night, and the end of the night was a 10-man, mile-high, no limits, no disqualification, no tags necessary tag team match. And it was a lot. It was Spot City. I'm not complaining. But it was a lot. So we had the Bucks, Jack Perry, and Wentz and Xavier of the Rascals versus the Demand and FTR. The entire beginning of the match got split as far as people paired up, and they fucked off into different areas of the arena. So there was a 3 camera angle screen for the first 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe of the match, because there was just so much going on everywhere that you couldn't keep up with it. Cash used Stoke as a battering ram to knock one of the Young Bucks, I'm not even sure which one, down the stairs in the crowd at one point. There were people flying left and right. We did get to see Reed at one point. He came out with a fire extinguisher and hit Toa Leona with it, because he was about to throw, I believe it was Wentz, off the stage into a table. The crowd, just so many weapons came out and so many tables came out. The crowd kept a count on all the tables the entire time. I think it started with 4, and they were just like 4 more table, 3 more table, 2 more, 1 more table, and that was just as it was going, right? And they used all of them. Jack Perry got bum rushed and tackled over the barricade into the timekeeper's area. He also got thrown over the top rope by, I believe, both times. The tackle and over the top rope, I believe, were both Toa Leona to Jack Perry, over the top rope into a table on the floor. I'm forgetting everybody's name right now. Xavier, I believe it was, did a shooting star press from the top rope sideways to the floor. The Young Bucks and the Rascals had a super kick party. Jack Perry was flying around like a madman, just doing whatever he could. The very last table was broken by, I think it was Nick Jackson throwing Cash Wheeler out of the ring into Dax into the table because it was propped up on the guardrail. There was just so much that went on. If you have time to go and find it, do so. It matches, in my mind, even though it was nothing but a spot fest, it kind of matches or ties for match of the night with Mox vs. Clone. And that's saying something, because I think El Clone is probably one of my top 3 favorites in the company at the moment. And he's awesome, and we need more of him. So, Ricochet and Jack just continued their little feud. The Demand attacked the Bucks over and over again. The Rascals jumped in and out whenever they could to help out and make sure everything was going smoothly. The Bucks and Perry and the Rascals ended up with the win, which is awesome. Reed, at one point after the fire extinguisher spot, pushed Toa Leona into the ring, and then Toa kind of walked across it and turned around and was like stumbling a little bit, and Reed came rushing down the entrance ramp, because it wasn't just like a regular ramp. It was the one they do when they connect the entryway straight to the ring, and he rushed the ramp and he flew over the top rope and twisted and got Toa Leona in a cutter. So that was fascinating. Yeah, we need more Reed. Put Reed on TV more. We need to see more of him. He can't just be a weird little side character that you go to when you just need like a minor power boost randomly. Like, don't get me wrong, Wentz and Xavier, awesome tag team. They're doing their thing. We need more Reed. So throw all of the Rascals into a trios match and let's see some more of Reed, because I want more. I think we need more. Like, if you're paying him, use him. You know what I mean? But yeah, overall, good week. Great week. Great show. Everything's moving forward just as it should. Like I said, so Saturday we're going to have Thunder Rosa and Statlander versus the Sisters of Sin. Next Wednesday we're getting Thunder Rosa versus Tekla for the women's title. We just, there's so much going on. Saturday we're hearing from MJF, I'm assuming, so that he can cut a promo on how ridiculous it is that he has to be part of the Texas Death Match. Do not take the title from him. Yeah, so overall, good stuff. Have a great week. I'll see you Saturday. Thank you for 100 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Now let's look toward 250. Small goals. 100 to 250. Have a great week. Love yourself. Do 2 things this week to help somebody. Give $1 to a child. I don't know. Not a child. Children don't need money. Buy a bag of dog food for the unhoused person on the corner that's got the mutt. Yeah? All right. Have a great week. I'll see you Saturday. Peace.